Hello Pisces, welcome back to my channel. This is Skeleton Key Tarot and this is a tarot card reading for Pisces. All Pisces placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Wherever you've got Pisces in your chart or in your life, there's something in this message for you. And as always, cross watchers are welcome here too. So let's begin. Messages for Pisces, please. What does Pisces need to know? Okay, so first of all, the underlying energy, we do have the Empress and the Ten of Swords. Let's get one more thing. Okay, wow, this is a heavy energy today, but this is a good outcome. At the bottom of the deck, we do have the Four of Wands. Okay, and the Judgment and the Daughter of Wands came out. On the split, we have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, this is good. So we're reaching a milestone here. We're coming to a turning point in what has been a difficult situation. I want to say that this is overall a very good reading, but it's got some hard energies to it. So let me just say what I'm seeing. I see a relationship between a mother and a daughter. And I see that this relationship has been very difficult. I see that there has been some serious drama, pain, suffering, sorrow, and both of them have contributed to this very hard situation. I think that there has been a lot of butting heads, a lot of disagreement, a lot of hard words, harsh. I'm hearing screaming, okay, people screaming at each other, slamming doors. Very dramatic, melodramatic, painful for both. And I get that this daughter is especially coming into focus here with the Judgment card coming out. And can I tell you what I'm really seeing? I'm seeing forgiveness. I'm seeing somebody here who forgives their mother, who is growing into a more spiritually enlightened person, and is looking back and is able to have a better understanding of their own mother or their mother wound. I feel like somebody had a really hard relationship with their own mother. They did not understand each other. They did not agree with each other. There was maybe some abusive behavior coming from the mother and then repeated by the daughter. Like, I'm getting some, let me just see, okay, I'm getting something intuitively here. Let me just say what I'm seeing. Take it as it resonates for you. It's a general reading for Pisces. If you'd like personal details, we can do a personal reading, okay? If it's not for you, then it's for somebody else. You know, that's how this works. This is so relatable to me personally, even though I don't have any Pisces in my chart or anything like that. But, like, I'm just going to say what I'm seeing, okay? I'm seeing a young woman with a child. She's like 21, 22, 23 years old or younger, like young mother, not really prepared, 17, 16, you know, not prepared. She's barely an adult and she's got a baby, maybe more than one baby, okay? And it's hard to be a single mom, or even if you have a man around, he sometimes causes problems too. Like, I'm like, where's the father in all of this? I think that there is a story behind that as well. But this is a mother-daughter thing here that we're looking at. And this mother, this young woman, she became a mother maybe too soon. Maybe it was just what you did back then, or, you know, I get that, and it was hard for her to raise these children. Maybe there was never enough money. Maybe she was always tired, frustrated, and impatient and immature. She wasn't really ready for this, and she didn't have the support system that she needed, whether from the father or from the grandparents or whatever. Like, it was just never enough. There was always problems, right? And so there were times when she didn't really know how to cope with the children and the household. And there were maybe other circumstances. There could have even been like just add alcohol or drugs or whatever to the mix, and now it's just a recipe for a chaotic childhood. And now I'm seeing the child, the daughter, the young girl growing up in this environment and having to go to school and having to see from her perspective how stressful this is and frustrating and tiresome, and not really having the empathy for the parents, because you're a kid. You're hungry, you want food, you cry, you know, when you're a baby, you scream and cry because you're hungry. You don't think about your mother's headache, or you know what I mean, or your father's problems, your mother's problem. You don't think about your parents even as people when you're a baby. You're just hungry, so you scream. You know, it's inconsiderate, but like, you don't have the capacity to consider anything beyond your own stomach. So as you get older, you know, you start to be a little bit more of a human, you know what I mean? Like a real personality. You start to, so at some point, I feel like growing up in this as a child, you didn't really understand. And you couldn't understand, even if you wanted to. You just couldn't. And they couldn't explain it to you either. It's not like your mother, your parents are going to sit you down and be like, okay, well, or maybe they did try to explain it. Even if they tried to explain it to you, there's only so much you could have really understood. Even if you were precocious and an intelligent kid, you know, it's like, and you know what? Even if you completely understood everything, there was nothing you could really do about it. You couldn't go get a job and help pay the bills. You needed to go to school. Or there's child labor laws or something, even if you didn't need to go to school. Like, you can't just, an 8-year-old can't just go down and get a job at, like, the grocery, you know what I mean? Like, even if you got a job, it probably wouldn't even help, you know? Maybe you could get like a paper route or something. I know sometimes kids do little jobs and stuff, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? You needed to go to school, you needed to grow up, and maybe you had to grow up too fast. Maybe your mother had to grow up too fast. Maybe her grandmother, you know what I mean? Everybody's had to grow up too fast. And you didn't understand why your mom was like being so mean. Like, you just thought that she was a mean person. She's just a bitch, you know. Oh, my mom's such a bitch, you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting a snotty teenager who's like 15 years old who doesn't understand and is kind of immature and maybe precocious but still underdeveloped, and you know, you just think, oh, my mom doesn't want me to have any fun. And it's like, no, your mom is deathly afraid that you're not going to come home tonight. Like, it's different. Like, oh, my mom's just a fucking bitch. Like, excuse me for swearing, but like, this is what I'm hearing. But no, it's like your mom is trying to make $100 last the whole week and feed you kids and herself. She's going hungry. She's tired and irritable and frustrated because she's hungry. She hasn't slept in 5 friggin' years. She works her fingers to the bone, and you are ungrateful little snotty kid, but she loves you and she tries her best, but it's never, I just feel like it's never enough. And can you imagine being in that situation? You're 25 years old, you've got 3 kids, you know, you don't have enough money, you're barely educated, you've never lived your life, you got pregnant right out of high school, your husband is a, no offense, but he's kind of a loser. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't really make a lot of money, or he's not even in the picture at all. You're barely scraping by on what you can get. Maybe you get government assistance, but it's still never enough. The kids constantly need more food, more clothes, more shoes. And then it's like, then they're little brats on top of it. You don't even get to see them 8 hours a day. They're in school, you're at work. You get like 1 hour in the morning that's like hectic, running around, get your shoes on, where's your socks? You know what I mean? The school bus is late. Now I'm late for work. Like, and then you get an hour in the evening. Okay, do your homework. I said, go do your homework. I said, turn off the TV. And then it's like you argue with these kids all day. You know, the 2 hours you get to have with them aren't even fun. Like, it's arguments and stress. And then finally, 10 o'clock at night, you have a glass of wine or a beer. You pass out in front of the TV. And then the next day you have to do it again. And this is your life. And it's like, that sucks. This is so sad. And I feel like, okay, let's get down to the reading, because I feel like somebody here is having like a spiritual breakthrough and some kind of awakening within themselves that is helping them to understand their own mother, and they forgive her. And it's not unforgivable. I'm not talking to somebody whose mother is so bad that she's unforgivable. I'm not talking to somebody who has legitimate reason to never speak to their mother again, which some people do. Some people, I mean, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else here. I'm talking about something that's specific to this intuitive and tarot card message that we're getting today. Somebody is, maybe you're having your own baby and now you realize how hard it is, right? Maybe you're coming to a place in your life where now your brain is fully developed. You're 30 years old or whatever, 25, 30, 45 years old. And you have a new perspective on life. You are no longer a kid. You're not 15. You're not even 20 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're not a kid anymore. You don't, you've kind of grown up out of it. You've reached a milestone here in your personal development and evolution. And now you're able to look back and say, wow, I am so sorry that I was such a brat. Like, I'm going to cry. This is not even my story. Like, I have problems with my mom, and it's totally different from, I mean, it's very similar to what I'm picking up on, but like very different and very complicated in its own way. And maybe every parental daughter-mother situation is complicated in its own way, or a lot of people have complicated relationships with their parents, right? Maybe not everybody, but like some people do. I feel like I'm gonna cry. Like, I almost just cried. Like, I have to like breathe a little bit. Like, this is very emotional. I almost feel like for some of you, your mother has passed away. Oh, wow. And it's like, for somebody here, it's like your mother passed away before you could really reconcile with her, or she passed away suddenly and you are coming into an age where you are more mature, you're more spiritually aware, and it's putting it into a new kind of context. You have a new understanding of your mom. Whatever happened. Maybe she's still with us, maybe not. Take it as it resonates. But for somebody, it's like, whoever I'm reading for today, this is intense. This is kind of profound. It's like you understand your mother better. Maybe because you have a child or not. Like, maybe because you're just old enough now to look back and say, wow, I can't imagine having a kid at 17, 18, 20, 22 years old. And having no money and having no friends, no life, no freedom. I mean, maybe she was able to get a babysitter sometimes, get your nana or your grandma or whoever to, like, you know, watch you on a Friday night so she could go out with her friends and have some fun. But like, that was the extent of her 20s. And she didn't get to travel. She didn't even get to maybe go finish school or whatever for somebody. Like, that's the kind of energy I'm picking up on today. Even if she went to school, you know, imagine going to school and working full time and having kids, 1, 2, 3 kids on top of it all, maybe even more than that, 4 or 5 kids. Like, how many kids were involved in this? I don't know. But like, if this is your story, then this is your message. I'm picking up on somebody who has really come a long way and grown up a lot, and is dropping some kind of pettiness and is forgiving themselves and others, coming into a spiritual maturity or a personal sense of maturity and growth, growing up, you know, and now has a much higher perspective and a much deeper understanding of their mother and their own past, and it's helping them to understand themselves and where they're going, and like putting it all into context. And this is such a healing moment. This is such a beautiful healing moment. I hope that she's still alive when you come to this realization so that you can have that. I don't know what, oh my God, this is so emotional. It's like, you know, she's not going to be here forever. And you, wow, I'm going to, Pisces. This is deep. I think for some of you, you don't have a chance to say it to her face and to thank her or forgive her or whatever. And this may be weighing very heavily on you, that she passed away before you were before you were mature enough. And it's not your fault. You're being told to please stop blaming yourself. And maybe stop blaming her too, if you're still in that sort of phase where you're not ready to forgive her yet. I think you are on the path of forgiveness, and spiritual awakening is a part of that. If your mother has already passed on, you're being asked to please forgive yourself. Do not hold on to that petty, burdensome. Do not judge yourself. It's a burden on you. It's time for you to release it. You've done the spiritual work of healing and understanding. You are overcoming this kind of fear and hopelessness. This like 10 of Swords is, there was a ruined, this relationship was destroyed. It was terrible. I'm not saying what she did was okay. And you are not saying it either. That's not the point. I think there may have been some abusive behavior. I think when she was tired and frustrated and upset, she didn't have the coping skills to really deal with her own frustration, let alone your bratty little kid behavior. You were a brat, okay? Let's be real. Let's just be completely real. But it's not your fault, and it's not really her fault either. And when we can get to that point where we can drop it and forgive, we don't have to forget what happened, but we can learn from it. And do you want to reconcile with her? I'm not talking to somebody who's gone no contact for very good, legitimate reasons. And maybe you do have your reasons. I sure do. I have my reasons. And this is not my reading. This is not your reading. If you don't want to talk to your parents, if you don't want to speak with your mother, if you can forgive her from a distance to liberate yourself, that's okay too. You don't have to. Resolving this does not necessarily mean reconciling with the person who hurt you, okay? There's a big difference between forgiveness and acceptance and, you know, actually like having a relationship with somebody who doesn't fit into your life or doesn't deserve it, or, you know, you can't because they're so destructive. Like I can't talk to my parents. Like, I don't have a relationship with my parents at all whatsoever. I can't. That's my choice. I respect that choice. It was not an easy choice to make. I'm not going to get into my personal reasons, and just know that I understand. So wherever you're at on this, it's like forgiving yourself and forgiving your mother, because it liberates you. Not because what happened was okay, but because you're okay and you're going to be okay. And you're reaching a new milestone of personal development in your life where you've transformed and you've transcended whatever happened between the two of you, this 10 of Swords. There is hope on the horizon. You are rising up out of this like a phoenix. You're being called to forgive. You don't have to get back together with your mom, you know, if you don't want to. But then maybe you do want to. Maybe this could help to liberate her as well, to heal her heart too. I feel like this is so emotional. Like, oh my gosh, Pisces, this is so emotional. I'm not a water sign. I have literally 0 water sign placements in my chart. I do have some planets in the 12th house and the 4th house, but like everything in my chart is like I'm a Taurus with like Aries, Gemini, Sagittarius placements, okay? And I'm not a mushy, you know, person. I'm very much one of those like earth signs that is kind of stoic, and for better or worse, I'm saying like this is bringing out a level of emotionality in me that is completely unexpected, you know? Anyway, I just wanted to highlight that because it's like I'm not making this up, or it's not my style. And if you've been following my channel for a while, you know, like I'm just completely honest about what I see and feel. And this is taking me by surprise. Like I never expected. Yeah, there's a Six of Cups. This is about deep roots. Look at this, the roots, the root system here. It runs deep, deep past. This is about the past. This is about what happened in the past. This is about where you come from and who you are. The Daughter of Cups. Like, oh my God. Okay, come on. Leave me alone. I'm just like, this is such an emotional, gentle. It's like, I can't. I gotta leave it there. If you know, you know. There's so much emotion in this reading. I feel like maybe you were adopted and you're meeting your biological mother. And it's like, you don't know where to go with this relationship, but it is helping you to resolve something or to heal some kind of wound. Or, it, you know, that's kind of random. It just came to me, but like it could be something like that where you're reconnecting with your past. You're reconnecting with your mother after a long time of not speaking or being on bad terms, or I don't know what it was. There was a serious conflict between the two of you, but it's like you are, it's coming full circle. You're being able to forgive. I've got 2, 4, 6 here. I've got the 10, which is an X, and the Judgment, which is 20, which is 2 X's, and the number 3, which is the Empress here, the number 3. So it's like 3 X's and a 3, 2, 4, 6. I don't know. That just feels like there's a lot of synchronicity here. What have we got on the clock? 2225. Yep. That's an 8, right? No. 3 plus 5 is 8, so 2, 4, 6, 8. And then 2 times 3 is 6 plus 5 is 11. So 1, 1. That's just a lot of synchronicities. All right, let's leave it at that. That's what I've got for you today, Pisces. This was a very emotional reading. You can forgive your mother and rise up out of this and shine a light in the darkness. This is like a real spiritual transformation. You understand her now, and you understand your own past and where you come from. You have a better understanding of your own origin story. I think you come from a difficult beginning, a rough past, a painful, difficult relationship with your mother, especially. I have personal anecdotes that may be relatable. I have an extremely difficult relationship with my mother. She was a very unpleasant person to, that's just putting it lightly, okay? Very unpleasant, very abusive, verbally, physically, etc. There's an extremely painful history between the two of us. And I know that I wasn't always a perfect angel either, but she is responsible for certain things that she's never apologized. She's never acknowledged, and it hurts so bad. There was the pain of what happened, and then there's the pain of being dismissed, ignored, abandoned, neglected, right? And she's never acknowledged, and she's never apologized, and she's never admitted, etc. And it's difficult and it's painful. And for the longest time, I have not spoken to her. I cannot have contact with my family. That's my choice. I don't have to explain it, and I'm not going to, but that's the reality. And for a long time, now I'm almost 37 in May. I'll be 37. And for a long time, I held on to some pretty hard emotions. And, you know, you can tell the way I'm speaking, I still kind of feel my feelings, right? But that said, I understand my mother. I really do. And I forgive her. I really do. I can't talk to her. I don't want to be with her or be near her. I don't want anything to do with her. I can't. She's still up to her ways. She's still out there doing what she does. And I can't have it because it's so destructive. And it's like, but I understand her better now than I ever did before. And I forgive her. I look back, she had kids when she was 22. She had me when she was 22. She had my brother when she was 24. I'm 37. I don't have children. I'm not going to have children. But like, I cannot imagine myself at 20. I look at myself when I was 22. I look back and I'm like, I was so irresponsible when I was 22, 24. But then it's complicated, right? Because I come from a really rough background, and it was very violent and abusive. And I think she went overboard. You know, it's one thing to be frustrated and tired and irritable, and, you know, but like, there's got to be a limit to what you do, right? Like, I can't imagine having kids at that age and struggling and suffering and not ever having enough money and stuff. But like, I also can't imagine doing some of the things that she did. I can't imagine ever doing that to a child and then lying about it. And then like all the guilt and shame and fear that must be going through her, but she can never face it because it's too painful. Like, I believe that she is suffering very deeply wherever she's at right now. I know that she was suffering back then. She has her reasons. She has her origin stories too, right? And I understand her better now than I did when I was 5, 10, 15, 20 years old. Even when I was like, I think I was like 30. Maybe I was 25, 26. But definitely by the time I was like 28, 29, 30 years old, I had a much better perspective on life in general. And I could see her as a person, not just like this archetype or this symbol or this like symbol or this like, I could see her as a human and not just as the role that she was meant to play in my life. Like, not just as my mother, but as like an actual human person who has her own fears and challenges. You know what I mean? Like, I could see her more clearly and I understand her better now than I ever did before. And I feel like that's what I'm talking about here today, is you understand. So whether or not you want to have a relationship with your mom is up to you. I'm certainly not here to ever tell somebody what they should and should not accept, right? Like, that's your call if you want to have that relationship. But I am here to read the cards, and the cards are talking about forgiveness and understanding and spiritual awakening and really reevaluating your own personal origin story, especially when it comes to this difficult relationship with your mother, and finding it in yourself to rise up above the pettiness, to remove yourself from this conflict, to resolve it and to end it and to end the generational curse. You're breaking the generational curse because you have risen above it, and you are strong and capable, and you are gentle and you are kind. Oh my gosh, Pisces. Wow. This is a beautiful reading, and I love this for you. And I really sincerely hope you are able to do that, because it is so good to be able to find that forgiveness for yourself and others, and to liberate yourself from the dark pain. And maybe it'll never ever go away 100%. Maybe you'll have a scar, but the scar shows that you have suffered and that you have healed. Yes, our scars prove that we have suffered, but they also prove that we have healed. So congratulations on breaking that generational curse. I know how hard it is. I think you're going to be okay. This is really good stuff. So keep up the good work. You did it. Like, what do I even say to that? Like, I don't know what to say. So I think I'll just leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me today, Pisces. This was a really beautiful reading, and I'm really glad that I was able to connect with you on this level, because it speaks so much and so deeply to, I think, a lot of people, and including me. Like, this is a hard reading to do, but I really appreciate it, and I hope you do too. So I'm going to leave it there. That's what I've got for you today, Pisces. I hope this was helpful. I hope it was of service to you. If you enjoyed this and you'd like a personal reading, my email's in the description box below. I've got 3 options available now. So you can just email me. I'll let you know how it works. You let me know what you need. But in any case, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Bye.